Can you just put your thumb up if you can see it? Thin, can you see? You can see it? Okay, good, 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 good. Okay, good. All right, so this is going to be a short presentation about Minnesota landmarks. So again, I'm from the state of Minnesota, which is in the north part of the United States, the 48 United States, in the middle of North America, not Alaska, not Hawaii, but the other 48 United States. And I live in Minnesota, which is in the north, right next to Canada. So I talked a little bit about the seasons, talked about the fall colors, and today I want to talk about landmarks, recognizable, unique buildings and places in Minnesota. So Minneapolis and St. Paul are the capital city, but the state is very large. There's a lot of small towns. So Minnesota has about 6 million people, not quite 6 million people. So, but it's the same as Yangon. Yangon, the capital city of Myanmar, has almost 6 million people. So it's the same amount of people, but in a much larger area. So this is on Lake Superior. Lake Superior is the largest Great Lake, and it borders Minnesota in the north. And this is called Split Rock Lighthouse. And so a lighthouse is used to guide ships when it's dark out in the lake, so they don't hit any foreign objects or any rocks. And so there's a light on the very top of this building here, right where my arrow is. There's a very large light. It's as tall as a man, and it's very bright. And so when a ship comes in from the sea or from the lake, it can see the light, and it can go towards the light, and then that will help guide it away from any danger. So this is a landmark in Minnesota, and this is called Split Rock Lighthouse. So what I'd like you to do for this short presentation is to think about what you found interesting, and if you want to share about what you found interesting or ask questions when I am done, then you can ask those questions at that time. So let's see. Okay, so this is also on Lake Superior, and in Duluth. It's the main port, and a large ship can get from the Atlantic Ocean, and it can go all the way through all the Great Lakes and end up in Duluth in Minnesota. So it can get all the way to the center of the continent. And this large ship is a ship that contains iron ore. And this is the lift bridge in Duluth and Canal Park. And so you can see this canal was man-made. And then the bridge, you can see over here on the bottom right, this is when the bridge is down, and then the cars can drive across the bridge. But when a large ship like this ship, this ship is almost 1,000 feet long, which is about 300 meters, roughly. And it can come in, then it can come into port, and it can come in, into the harbor, excuse me, and it can come in, and the bridge will lift up, the ship will go through, and then the bridge will come back down again. And so that's called the lift bridge, and that is in Duluth, Minnesota, in the north. Next, we have our different sporting stadiums. So this U.S. Bank Stadium up here on the top left is for American football. The Minnesota Vikings play at this stadium. It's US Bank Stadium, and it's only a few years old. Over here on the top right is where the baseball team plays, the Minnesota Twins, and it's at what they call Target Field. And then here in the middle is what's called Target Center, and this is where the professional basketball team plays, which is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Down on the bottom left is called XL Energy Center, and that is where the professional hockey team plays, the Minnesota Wild. And then over here on Allianz Field on the bottom right, that is where the professional soccer team plays, which in the United States, football is called soccer, and football is actually refers to American football to an American, but soccer refers to football in the rest of the world. And so this bottom right field, Allianz Field, is the professional stadium for soccer players or professional football players. So here are a number of different statues around the state of Minnesota. This tall green man is called the Jolly Green Giant. And there is a company that cans vegetables, green beans and corn, and they produce a lot of canned vegetables and then send them out. And so this green giant is the mascot for that company. Over here we have a tall Viking. You can see there's a car down here. So it's very tall. It's about maybe 10 meters tall. And this is in the middle of the state in Alexandria. And there are many people from Finland, Norway, Sweden that are in the state of Minnesota. And so this is called Big Ole. And Big Ole is in the middle of the state in a city called Alexandria. So here is also, on the bottom left is Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox. And they're fictitious characters, but they are considered to be a lumberjack of a very large size, and Babe the Blue Ox, who helped him. So he would cut trees, and then the Blue Ox Babe would help haul them away. And so it's not a true story, but it's a legend in the state of Minnesota and actually around the country. And then here is just a woman who settled in the state of Minnesota. So it's a statue remembering those who came from New York and out east and traveled across the country and settled here and started living here and making it a state. Here are some animal sculptures that are just for fun. So here is a very large fish. It's called a walleye fish, and it's in Baudette, Minnesota, all the way up by Canada. And you can see the bench where people can sit, so you can see that the fish is a fairly large sculpture up in Baudette. Here is an otter, and I'm not sure which city it is in, but you can see it's again an otter. There's a couple of children standing by it. And it's just to commemorate, we have a lot of streams and rivers here, and otters, they live in streams and rivers. And so we have a number of them out in the country. And so this is a very common animal in Minnesota. This animal I showed previously, actually I think last week, about the animals of Minnesota. And this is a loon. So a loon is our state bird. It has a very unique call